Hey everybody, this is Dr. Heather Cardin, one of your Keto Reboot coaches. Super pumped to be here in my office this morning. We have some amazing people who participated in the reboot and want to share their story with you because we talked last time. I'm getting some photobombs back there. I love it. That stories lead to inspiration. Inspiration leads to action. So hopefully there will be one thing that somebody says that really clicks in your mind, and know that this isn't an easy 60 some hours. Know that there may be struggles, maybe easier this time or next time, but I want to hear from my friends who showed up here at Cardin Center for Wellness in Overland Park, Kansas, post-metabolic reboot analysis, sharing some of their maybe struggles, their successes, their whys. So we're just going to take a minute or two to hear from each of them. So I'm just going to turn the phone around, and thanks for joining. Know that you guys can share this later, tag a friend, share your experience, turn your testimonies in to prove it, because we want to hear your stories. So who are you, my dear ladies, first?
My name is Kathy Plymire. I live here in Overland Park, and this will be my third reboot. And this time, this was a little harder. The first 24 hours for me was just a little harder. I stuck to it. I persevered. Day 2 was actually great. I definitely felt better, and I'm now on 66 hours, actually, so I'm going to break it here in about an hour.
I am going to ask this. What's your total fat loss since January?
91.
So we are having a huge party when it's 100 pounds of fat loss. This is more than just fat loss. So give us one other health benefit you have noticed over the last 3 reboots.
Oh my goodness, self-awareness, a huge awareness of the body and hunger. What really is hunger, and not the mind telling me I'm hungry. I have really learned a lot about that one aspect, and the craving control for me and the appetite has it's been an answer to prayer, because it's always been my downfall.
Awesome. And you know what to do with optimization. You're going to go to the file and print off the guide, and you're going to continue with your best practices, which is 2 servings of ketones a day for you. Do you start your morning with keto cream?
I do. And then I have a keto at noon, and a keto at 2, and a keto right around 8 o'clock before I go to bed.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing your story. I know you will inspire thousands of people out there. Next, somebody said, is that Mr. Paul Carter in the background? And I said, whoa, what's up? So yes, it is Mr. Paul Carter here. So Mr. Paul Carter, tell me what the last 60 hours has been for you. What did you notice emotionally, and maybe what did you notice physically?
Man, that's a loaded question.
I only gave him 2 minutes, people, so he's freaked out again. Paul and I could talk for hours.
This is my 3rd reboot. I generally fast almost every day, so I tend to cruise through these, and I'm not trying to brag for anybody who struggled. I know it can be very hard for a lot of people, but I'm used to fasting 16 to 18 hours every single day. So I tend to have a little bit of hunger on the 2nd day, but I think the first one was my hardest one ever. And
just not knowing what it was?
Well, I mean, I've never gone 60 hours. So.
Does it help you knowing the science? You and I are science geeks, and I know you deep dive into anything or rabbit hole like nobody's business. So does that help you emotionally get through it, knowing what the science is?
I mean, as you know, we've talked about this before, as I've gotten older, anything that's...
Wait, I think you anti-age on the metabolic thing. I don't think you got older. I think you got younger since we talked to you on Saturday.
You know what's funny is I've been doing a lot of fasting the last few years, and I ran into some friends I haven't seen in about 5 years. It was about 6 months ago, and they were shocked at how much younger I looked than 5 years ago. And that was a conversation that I had with some people this morning with a friend of mine, and we were talking about all of the anti-aging benefits that people have. So if you're 24 and you look like you're a hard 56, then fasting is a good way to go. But yeah, I mean, I've written multiple articles about all the benefits, and even for guys, because I work in the bodybuilding field a lot.
Really? We had no idea.
What?
You work in the bodybuilding? I thought you were a chiropractor.
So, I mean, and this was something we did on the last reboot, and they're always freaked out about losing muscle. But one of the things I like to emphasize to those guys is that even if you're in, say, a muscle building stage, fasting once a month can actually help that, because it can prime your physiological environment, because you become more insulin sensitive, and the better your insulin sensitivity is, the better your nutrient partitioning is, and that helps with building muscle mass too. So even for guys that are trying to gain weight, that say, well, I don't want to lose weight because I'm not eating. Once a month's still a great idea. So yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
actually
fasting
love
and
doing this.
fitness, there's a huge pop topic, like besides intermittent fasting, but fasting and fitness. So thanks, Paul, for taking the time to give a big shout out here to the Keto Reboot people. Always inspiring, always continuing to lead from the front of the pack. Who do I have here?
Dr. Adam Boonder.
Where are you from, Dr. Adam Boonder?
Here, Overland Park. So,
And
yeah.
how many reboots have you done?
This is my first one, actually.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've not done this before. I've done some fasting. The longest I've done is 5 days, liquid fasting. But yeah, I do intermittent fast, just like Paul was saying. I typically am 9 p.m. is when I stop, and then I'll go till about 2 the next day. So I do a lot of intermittent fasting.
I'm
you
making
want
him
me to-
stick to the
you-
reboot,
you
guys.
want me
That's
to-
what I'm
you
pointing
want me to
at.
share
So,
this
like,
thing?
what did
So-
she think? So,
Yeah.
what was surprising on the paperwork, and what did you learn about yourself over the last 60 hours? Knowing that you've done some intermittent fasting
Yeah.
every day, and knowing that you've done some other water fasts medically supervised in the past as a physician.
Yeah.
So, tell me what you kind of noticed over the last 60 hours. I was shocked at the scale, number one, for
Yeah.
you, because you're
6
a
pounds.
super lean guy anyway.
Yeah, I lost 6 pounds over the last 60 hours. I think for me, body fat was down 0.5%, and my metabolic age went down a year. So that's good. I'm 37, and now I'm 34 metabolically. So yay!
His wife, Jen, will love that.
Right. Honestly, I think for me, that what I learned the most is, and again, having a community to be able to support you through this process is huge. Even though I've done, a liquid for 5 days, it's how easy you can forget what the process is like. But
Sure.
but knowing what your body's going through, the cleansing, the detoxing, it's great to have people to support you and to push you through. But knowing truly what it's doing internally, my energy is up, focus is better, and it feels good to, I would say, be leaner, to not have that kind of that inflammation that I was dealing with before. But I think the biggest thing I learned was
So
kind
this
of
is
that remember.
right. This is
Yeah.
something you will continue.
Oh, absolutely.
This is something you will share with your patients.
Yep.
And this is something tonight you're sharing with other colleagues.
Yep.
So I love that triple win there. So, and again, what we do is we actually turn all this paperwork into Dr. Ryan and Dr. Jacob down at the ASPI, and they are doing some formulations for us, because you can see with our scale, you can see if you've lost fat, muscle, or water. So who are you?
I'm not Dr. Ryan. My name's Ryan Strickland. I'm
Where
from
you-
El Paso, Texas.
And you drove all the way up here.
I did. I consider this like the mecca of the keto reboot. I might be crazy, but
And you got to hang out with Paul for an hour. I heard on the phone.
oh yeah, Paul.
Awesome.
We talked. We had a good time. I met you and Dr. Ralph and Emmy and Abigail. It's been great. But so I'm still going. I haven't broken my fast, although I'm just
Go ahead and take the
salivating
lid
at
off.
your chia pudding.
So
Yeah.
actually,
I'll let you take that before.
Adam,
Okay.
go ahead and take the lid off
Take
of
the lid
that.
off of this.
Let's see, it's 12:15, so I've gone 67 hours and 15 minutes.
So this is a really important time to recognize, am I hungry, or did the bell ring at 60 hours, so I need to eat? So that's
Right.
when you kind of start saying, okay, now I'm going to really, like Kathy talked about, am I going to eat because I think it's time, or because I'm actually physically, mentally hungry, or
Yeah.
chemically hungry, I should say. So how is this reboot different than the other ones?
It's been my best one by far. This is my 5th reboot. I actually did a reboot before it was the
Best
reboot
friends.
in August with I saw a post on Facebook with Shane and Big Shane, and so I did. It was water ketones, but so I did that before, and it was really good. But since I've been doing the monthly reboots with the broths and the
Okay, time out just a second, Ryan. So what happened is I had Dr. Adam take the lid off my chia pudding, which has some Walden's dark chocolate syrup on there. I have to go find the spoons. They're all smelling it, so I hate to interrupt Ryan. So that's what's happening over
No
here
problem.
with the distractions. So Ryan,
I can go on.
Ryan,
You tell me.
I know, Ryan. So tell me again. We talked 1 or 2 minutes. What did you learn
Yes.
about yourself this time?
What I learned about myself this time was that I actually felt body chills for the first time last night, and that was a new experience for me. But I put on a jacket. I dealt with it. I was definitely a lot hungrier last time. The cravings were pretty bad, but it's a good mental challenge, right? It's a great study in if you're controlling your own cravings, or the cravings are controlling you, right?
Right, so you're the boss of the cravings, or the cravings the boss of you.
See, I'm the
Right.
metabolic boss.
That's where you go. So we know that during optimization, there's 7 different things you can choose from. You can ditch the dairy, you can weed out the wheat, you can forget the sugar, you can be focused on timing, water. What is the one thing you're going to focus on from this reboot to next reboot? I'm going to ask you all the same question.
What do I focus on?
So
Well,
you're going to keep out the wheat, keep out the dairy, keep out the sugar, keep
yeah,
up the water.
carb restriction just as a whole, I would say that for sure.
So that's one thing we really want to focus on.
One.
So that's awesome. So
Okay.
give Ryan a bunch of
The
hearts
wheat.
and hands up
We'll
for
get rid of the
driving.
wheat.
What'd you say?
I'll get rid of the wheat then if it's one thing, but yeah.
Yes. So, and we looked at optimization. You guys can go to the files and print that down. I know I'm just pointing on Ryan here, but you're going to see there's 8 different things you can choose from, and some workouts as well. So, Dr. Adam, what are you going to focus on from this reboot to next reboot?
Sugar.
Okay.
I mean, sugar. Yeah.
In the form of fruit, or in the form of processed sugar, in the form
Processed.
of drinks?
Processed and which is also drinks are included within that too. But
Is that agave and honey as well?
Yes.
And monk fruit?
monk fruit? Yes.
Awesome.
Keeping it out.
So,
Because even with some of the alternative sugars, what I found is that sweetness still is activating my brain to want that other stuff, and so trying to eliminate any of those sweets, I think, is would be a big one for me to help me mentally move into the next stage.
that's awesome. Mr. Lift, Run, Bang. Lift, Bang, Run. Which one is it?
Lift, run, bang.
Lift, Run, Bang. Mr. Lift, whatever he said, Paul Carter. I'm just the Archie Bunker with names. What are you going to focus on from this reboot to next reboot?
Oh, just same thing I always do, just getting sexier.
Mic drop.
That was
Okay, I did not put my phone because I don't have insurance on my phone. So, and you know, you guys can follow Paul on Instagram. He's got a lot of great workouts you can follow. He's participated in our in some of our other programs that we've done with Prove It. So he's been a big part of the community. So thank you for all that you do for us and how you lead and guide. Again, give one piece of advice to the 50,000 people on here in order to keep mentally strong during optimization from this reboot to the August reboot. Give them one tip in about 12 words or less.
Definitely thing that could focus on from now until then is to try to set each reboot as a landmark for improving
that.
on your body composition. So you got a goal each and every month, and that's something that should be keeping you on target.
I love that. Kathy, what is your big goal or target that you're really going to do during optimization?
water, 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 and more ketones.
That was easy. Awesome. Well, you guys, thanks for being here today. Out with us. This is Dr. Heather. We've got some more people showing up. Sorry, I'm going to try to get a little light here. We have some more people showing up, but if you're first time rebooter or maybe second time and haven't tuned in, go to the files, print out the optimization manual. It's a great PDF that you can actually find that has some meals, some recipes, some workouts, and more pages to journal your journey. And so again, I really appreciate everybody being back here in the background. Yay. Dr. Ralph's over there working as always. So super excited and able to share these PEEP stories with you. Please share your stories. Please share your testimonies and go to the optimization link in the files. This is Dr. Heather Carden, one of your Reboot coaches, saying keep crushing it every day.